Hola a todos. ¿Buscas una forma novedosa de aprender inglés? Hoy te mostraremos una técnica que te hará avanzar con mayor facilidad y confianza. Quédate con nosotros para descubrirla, y si te gusta el contenido, suscríbete, da like y comparte tu experiencia en los comentarios. Comenzamos.
Imagine you are a little squirrel. You live in a very green forest, full of tall, leafy trees. Every day, you jump from branch to branch, looking for the most delicious nuts. The sun shines through the leaves, and the wind whispers ancient secrets through the trees. It is a place full of peace. One day, while you are nibbling on a golden nut, you hear a loud flapping of wings above your head. Looking up, you see a huge shadow covering the sun. It is the majestic eagle, the queen of the sky. Her flight is so elegant and powerful that the whole forest falls silent when she passes by. The eagle perches on a nearby branch and watches you with her golden eyes. You feel small, insignificant, but there is something in her gaze that intrigues you. Why don't you fly? The eagle asks you, in a deep voice that seems to fill the whole forest. You are surprised. You have never asked yourself that question. You are a squirrel, you were born to run and jump, not to fly. I don't have wings, you answer, a little shy. The eagle smiles, a knowing smile full of mystery. You don't need wings to fly. You just need a dream and the courage to pursue it. These words stay with you. That night, as you curl up in your nest, you can't stop thinking about what the eagle said. You close your eyes and, for the first time, you imagine what it would be like to fly. The wind in your face, the freedom of the skies, the feeling of leaving all your worries behind. The next day, you wake up with a new energy. You can't fly like the eagle, but you can climb higher than you ever have. You climb the tallest tree in the forest, the one you've always been afraid to climb. Your legs tremble, but you keep going. With each branch, you feel stronger, more determined. Finally, you reach the top. From there, you can see the entire forest, and beyond, distant mountains and sparkling rivers. Your heart beats hard, not from fear, but from excitement. You realize that even though you don't have wings, you have achieved something great. From that day on, every time you face a new challenge, you remember the words of the majestic eagle. You don't need wings to fly. And with that thought, you keep climbing, always seeking to reach a little higher. Moral: don't let your limitations define you. You can always find a way to achieve your dreams, if you have the courage to try. Over time, the news of the brave squirrel who dared to climb the tallest tree in the forest spread far and wide. Other animals began to look at you with admiration. The rabbit, always so fast on the ground, asked you for advice on how to overcome his fears. The turtle, slowly but surely, asked you how to stand firm in the face of challenges. Even the fox, cunning and shrewd, listened to your words attentively. One day, while you were enjoying a sunny morning on top of your favorite tree, you saw the shadow of the majestic eagle again. This time, without any fear, you smiled at it as it perched beside you. I see you have learned to fly, little squirrel, the eagle said, a glint in its golden eyes. I have learned to fly without wings, you replied, with a satisfied smile. The eagle nodded in approval, but there was something else in its gaze, something you had not seen before. Flight is not always upward, it said softly. Sometimes, flying means learning to fall and rise. You fell silent, reflecting on its words. You had come so high, but you had never thought about what it meant to fall. Fall, you asked, with a mixture of curiosity and fear. The eagle spread one of its majestic wings, showing you a small scar on one of its feathers. Falling is part of the journey, he explained. Each scar tells a story of overcoming. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. That night, as you curled up in your nest, the eagle's words kept echoing in your mind. You knew that in your desire to reach new heights, you would also have to face falls and failures. The days passed, and with each new attempt to reach higher branches, the falls began to come. Some were small, others left you sore and discouraged. But every time you fell, you remembered the scar on the majestic eagle's wing, and that gave you the strength to get up again. Soon, you realized that each fall made you stronger. You learned to land gracefully, to not fear pain, and to find new ways to overcome obstacles. The scars you began to accumulate on your body became symbols of your bravery, and the other animals in the forest saw them as marks of your wisdom and determination. One day, while you were resting after a long day of climbing, the majestic eagle visited you again. Now you understand the true meaning of flying, he told you. It's not just about reaching the heights, but about learning to get up after each fall. You looked up at the sky, where the eagle used to fly, and for the first time you understood the depth of his words. Flying wasn't just about height, it was about resilience, about moving forward despite difficulties. Moral: falls are not failures, they are lessons that teach us to get up stronger. Do not fear the scars, for they are the marks of your courage. The forest was in full swing of autumn. The leaves fell like flakes of gold and crimson, creating a soft blanket that crunched under the animal's paws. You, the squirrel who had learned to fly without wings, found yourself looking out at the bare branches and the sky that was getting grayer by the day. The fresh air filled your lungs, and you felt like something new was about to begin. One day, while exploring a part of the forest you had never visited before, you came across a group of young squirrels. They looked confused and scared. Their little tails twitched nervously, and their eyes, full of uncertainty, reflected a mix of fear and curiosity. You approached them with a smile, trying to instill confidence in them. "What's wrong?" you asked them sweetly. One of the squirrels, the smallest, looked at you with big, bright eyes. "We've heard stories about you," she said in a shaky voice. "We want to be brave like you, but we don't know how. Winter is coming, and we're not sure how to face it." You realized that the young squirrels had never experienced a winter on their own. It was their first big challenge, and the fear of the unknown paralyzed them. You remembered your own first falls and the fear you felt the first time you climbed a tall tree. "Winter is a challenge," you told them, "but it's not something to be afraid of. It's just part of the cycle of life in the forest. The squirrels listened to you intently, their fears still present, but now mixed with a spark of hope. How did you overcome it? Another asked, her voice full of admiration. You smiled, remembering the majestic eagle's words. I wasn't always brave, you confessed. There were times when I was scared, when I didn't know if I could keep going. But I learned that it's not about not being afraid, but about moving forward despite it. The squirrels looked at each other, taking in your words. What can we do to prepare? The little girl asked, a mix of determination and fear in her voice. You thought about it for a moment, wanting to give them some advice that would really help them. The first thing you need to do is trust your instincts, you said. You know how to find food, how to build shelters, and how to stay warm. But the most important thing is to remember that you're not alone. Everyone in the forest helps each other. If you work together, winter won't be so scary. The young squirrels seemed to relax a little. The idea of facing winter together gave them new strength. And never forget, you added, that even though winter may seem long and cold, spring will always come. They just have to stand firm and persevere. With these words, the little squirrels began to organize themselves. They started collecting nuts and reinforcing their nests, and you helped them in any way you could. As the days passed, you realized that being brave didn't just mean facing your own fears, but also helping others overcome theirs. The majestic eagle, watching from above, watched as you guided the young squirrels and smiled with satisfaction. He knew that you had learned the most important lesson of all: true courage is not just for oneself, but to share it and extend it to those in need. Moral: courage is not only facing our own challenges, but also guiding and supporting others in theirs. Together, we are stronger. And so, the little squirrel continued on his journey, not only flying higher, but also teaching others to fly without wings. And you, who will you help to be brave today?
Y con eso terminamos. Si te gustó este vídeo, asegúrate de suscribirte al canal. Además, te invitamos a ver el siguiente vídeo que te dejamos por aquí, para seguir mejorando tu nivel de inglés a base de práctica y repetición. Nos vemos allí.